Hey everyone, do you hate your trailer taking up most of the driveway space? The wood rotting on it outside? HOA issues? Well, this is a video for you. Today I'll be covering the Trailhead trailer from AA Off-Road. It's lightweight, it breaks down into smaller pieces and stores right under your side-by-side or inside your toy hauler, leaving plenty of room in your driveway. It's priced similarly to a 12-foot trailer, so it's not saving you that much money. The design is something that's been used since the beginning of off-roading with dune buggies and sand rails, where the vehicles and most of the weight was in the backside, just like side-by-sides. So I did order it from AA Off-Road, and they were nice enough to deliver it in person from out of state. So let's get to the review. Here it is in my 6-foot truck bed. It did fit with some overhang, and here's all the pieces. Everything looks like it's good quality metal stick. The welds look great and the coating looks great. Thick plastic piece, and the chains, they do look a little bit flimsy up top. So we're gonna have to put it now together, and I didn't use any instructions. It didn't come with anything, but it is pretty self-explanatory. It took me about 3-4 minutes to do the first time. Here it is fully assembled. I did learn a faster way to put it together, and that's with the white Sharpie. I marked around the hole inside, so when I'm pushing it in, I can see the line if the hole isn't lined up. I know how to spin it around and line it up. I also marked a guideline so I know where to line it up if the hole, and drew a line as far as I could push it in. These simple lines saved a lot of time. And now to put it on my hitch, it does come with a 2-inch 2.5 receiver. It's super light, so you can just lift it with one hand. You can see the chains here. They look kind of skinny and flimsy, and they are kind of short. It looks like they put them a little bit too far back, along with the trailer hitch. I mean, that didn't help. I did add my own lighting, so I welded some tabs there so I can install the LED. These were $45 on Amazon compared to the factory, which sells them for I think $150. And here's some connectors, the male and female, that I added so I can disassemble the whole trailer. And here's the finished product. I made the fenders as well, and there's the lights. I am planning on registering it, so that's why I did all this stuff. And here's the chain I got from Harbor Freight, and I'll put it side by side with the stock chain. You can see it's a little bit heftier. So the hook's heftier, and then even the chain links are way thicker. And I think the weight rating for that one was 2,600, so I could only imagine what this little one did. And you can see from factory it was welded on, which they don't recommend since it weakens the links. That's what the trailer makers say. I welded mine on as well. It is a thicker metal, so hopefully it's still stronger than that little one they had. And it does now reach, and I can cross it. I still think it might catch if I'm turning, so I guess I'll find out. I might have to extend it a little bit. We'll see. And here it is, fully attached, fully assembled, and I was trying to load it on with the fenders on, and I realized my rockets on the side are just too wide, and I was bumping into it. So eventually I had to remove the fenders. I did make them removable, just like they do from factory, and now I can mount it. So a thing to be careful about is once you're going over the axle, you have to go real slow, and right there, it scrapes the metal, even if you go super slow. So that's kind of tough. And another tip to load it on, you actually have to get a pretty good head start there, and just like step on the gas and go all the way up. Otherwise, you'll be burning your clutch, and that's pretty much what I did. All the mounting and dismounting, I could just smell the clutch burning. So that's my bad. It's a learning curve, and eventually I did get it on there. And I could never get it centered, so I'm probably gonna put some guide rollers underneath the side-by-side just so it's always centered. And let's take a look at the clearance. It looks pretty good. It's a 70-inch trailer, and the side-by-side 70 inches, so it does have perfect width. They did recommend getting an 80-inch that was only $100 more, which I should have gotten, and I probably wouldn't have to worry about lining it up perfectly, and I would have just worried about the center line in the front. But I guess you live and you learn. And I do have to strap them from the front like that, and I use the bonnets in the back. Now we're checking out the trailer as it's attached, and you can barely see the wheel sticking out there, so you can't really see it that much. And if you jackknife, it won't touch the bumper, so that's good. I did off-road it and bump it and rode real fast to see if it'd get loose, and the bonnets in the back did stay in place, so that is good. And unfortunately for the front, the straps there did come loose, so I'm thinking of just using my winch in the front to secure it as well. I've seen a lot of people do that online. And of course it's slid to the side as well, so it is even more off center. And you can see it there, it's laying on the arm. So that's not good, but I mean, it's the plastic, so I'm sure it's not scratching it, but ideally I wouldn't want it laying on there. So I'm gonna put some guides eventually so it never goes that far down to the side. All right, and now we're gonna unload it. And this is another learning curve, so I guess you really have to nail the gas or you'll get stuck and you'll burn your clutch, or your belt, I mean. And especially in this part right here, when you're going over the axle, you need to hit that with speed or you're gonna just burn your belt. And you can hear the struggle there on the engine. It will take some practice. Right there, I finally got it over the hump. And it did scratch the metal as well. And the best part about this is you can just pick it up with one hand and just walk with it. It's not very heavy. It almost feels like you're just pushing a dolly. And I did push it up the sidewalk there and up the driveway. No issue at all. And that's just one-handed. And some tips here. For the pins, you want to face those down. I guess they stab into the tire when you're rolling it up, and that's kind of sketchy. I mean, I don't think it'll pop it, but still. And you can see the damage there from the gauged metal. It just scraped all of it, and even though I lowered it slowly, it still did it. It needs more of this plastic piece all the way down there. And you can see the plastic piece also grinds off every mounting. You do lose a lot of pieces on it. Just in one mounting, I had pieces all over the floor. You can see them there, and there's another one right there. So I don't know the durability of that. And now it's time to take it apart, and that's super fast. I'm just taking apart the back. I'm leaving the tires on. So it's just one pin. You just shake it and pull it at the same time. After that, I just disconnect the clips, and I'm going to just roll it to the back and lay it on the back of the side-by-side. And then I can put the other piece under the side-by-side or next to it. It really doesn't take any space at all. And luckily I beat the hail here. As you can see, I just laid it up over there on the back. So that's pretty much it. That's the verdict on this one. It does as promised, saves from eyesore and storage space for the trailer. There is some learning curve on how to mount and dismount. They really need a plastic piece on the slide and lower the metal, since the side-by-side does scratch up the metal. Even with my Pro XP and 30-inch tires, it still scraped. Might clear better with a Pro R or Turbo R. I am going to try to register it, so that's why I added the fenders and lights, which can also be installed from factory. I'll keep you posted on that in the future and update you on the durability later on. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and stay tuned for more thrift mods.